Have you ever had that sinking feeling? Like you're just floating through life without any real direction? You wake up, go to work, scroll endlessly, repeat, only to wonder at night why everything feels so empty? Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist and philosopher, had an answer for that. And no, it's not a productivity hack, a vision board, or chasing after six figures and a beachfront condo. According to Jung, the reason life feels hollow is simple. You haven't found your purpose. And finding it isn't just some fluffy, feel-good idea. It's a matter of survival for your soul. So what is this elusive thing called purpose? According to Jung, your purpose is the reason you are here. It's not something external that you pick off a shelf. It's the thing you were built for. Without it, you're like a ship with no compass, drifting endlessly. With it, everything changes. Purpose gives direction, meaning, even in the face of suffering. But here's where it gets interesting. Jung didn't believe you'd find purpose in success, money, or even happiness. That's just noise. If you're looking for purpose in the car you drive or the clothes you wear, you're missing the point entirely. Jung discovered, through his intense inner work and writings like The Red Book, that your true purpose lies in voluntary self-sacrifice. In other words, ask yourself this: what would I willingly suffer for? That's a heavy question, right? But sit with it for a moment, because your answer reveals everything. Your purpose is not about what gives you pleasure, but what you would willingly give yourself to, even if it's difficult. Especially if it's difficult. Jung believed that true meaning comes not from taking, but from giving. Specifically, giving yourself to something greater than your own ego. Let's be honest, life already demands sacrifice. You can't avoid it. Whether it's your time, your energy, or eventually your life, something will be taken from you. That's just part of the deal. In fact, death and taxes aren't just annoying realities, they're symbolic. They represent life's inevitable requirement. You will be sacrificed one way or another. The question is, will that sacrifice be voluntary or forced? Because here's the kicker. If you have nothing greater than yourself to live for, all that time and energy you invest, it goes inward. It circles around you like a drain. And when the day comes, because it will, when you have to give it all up, it'll feel like everything you built just evaporates. That's where the emptiness comes from. That's why without a higher aim, life feels meaningless. But when you give yourself to something greater, when you voluntarily pour your life into a cause, a principle, a mission, that's when everything shifts. The suffering doesn't disappear, but it matters. And when suffering has meaning, it's no longer the enemy. In fact, as Jung, Viktor Frankl, and Nietzsche all pointed out, suffering with meaning is what makes life beautiful and bearable. Think about the people we revere. Socrates, who chose death over betraying his values. Jesus, who sacrificed himself for the good of humanity. Cato, who stood against tyranny even when it cost him his life. Regardless of your beliefs, you probably sense it too. These were people on a mission. They had found something more important than themselves, something they were willing to die for. But you don't have to be a philosopher or a religious figure to discover purpose. It happens every day. A mother sacrificing sleep and comfort for her child, a firefighter running into a burning building, an artist pouring their soul into their work, a teacher showing up every day for their students. Purpose shows up in the ordinary just as much as in the extraordinary. So how do you find it? Start with this. What would you willingly sacrifice yourself for? Not what you should care about, not what makes you look good, but what, deep down, feels worthy of your time, your energy, your life. It could be your family, your community, justice, truth, creation, healing. Whatever it is, Jung believed that it has to be chosen, voluntarily. Because when you choose to serve it, day after day, you transform your life from an accidental sacrifice into a meaningful one. This doesn't mean you throw everything away and become a martyr. Purpose isn't always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet, steady, and small. But when you find something that's worth your effort, worth your suffering, then each day becomes a chance to live with direction. You stop drifting. You stop asking, what's the point? Because now, you really know. And here's the final insight. When life feels like a forced sacrifice, it becomes bitter and oppressive. You feel trapped, resentful, and powerless. But when it's a voluntary sacrifice, when it's something you've chosen out of love or belief or devotion, it becomes sacred. That kind of life feels good. deeply, enduringly good. So the question remains, what would you willingly sacrifice yourself for? That's where your purpose lies, and that's where your real life begins. If you found this video meaningful and interesting, drop a comment below and share your experience. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might find this content useful. And as always, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.